In this time of uncertainty, taking steps to prepare can help us all find a sense of security. At ServPro, helping our nation's homes, businesses, and shared spaces be cleaner and safer is why we're here. Here in your community, here to help.
Collision Auto Repair Specialist in Hesperia offers free rental and towing. Their excellent service and quality work is always guaranteed. And any military or public service employees can receive up to $500 off their deductibles. Collision Auto Repair Specialist in Hesperia, where we meet by accident. Find us online at carsbodyshop.biz.
Thing I'm going to ask you, because I'm sure people are going to read the description for this episode and be like, huh? How do you pronounce your first and last name?
Yeah, so it's typically a struggle. People really get scared, but it's actually very easy to say.
Okay.
So you just say the letter N, and then you say K, and then you say Chi.
Nkechi.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
Nkechi.
Mm-hmm. And then my last name is just Okorie.
Like Irish, but not Irish, right?
Yeah, like
Okorie.
Okorie, yeah.
Nkechi Okorie.
Yeah.
All right, Nkechi Okorie.
There you go.
Well, how old were you when you first started pronouncing it the right way?
Well, yeah.
That's cool. It's unique. I'm sure you were the only one growing up with that name, right?
Oh, definitely, yes. And
Does it mean anything like special? What does it mean?
yeah, it means God's own peace.
God's own peace?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's Nigerian.
Oh, nice. Very cool. How have you been?
Been really good. I mean, busy ever since I got crowned.
You're like Miss California now, but like USOA,
Yeah.
United States of America, Miss California,
Exactly,
right?
yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, actually, it's crazy because when I was crowned, I was like, okay, well, it's time to keep working, because there's a lot of work to do, and I wanted this title to do work. And now that I have it, I'm able to reach a more broader aspect of children. So I'm really excited.
How old are you?
I'm 23.
What a title to have, and the fact that you're from Victorville,
Mm-hmm.
It's not every day a state title or decoration like that comes to somebody, you
Yeah.
know, and now you get to go compete nationally for USOA,
Yes.
United States of America's Miss,
Yes.
right? That's the actual title if you win.
Yes, that's the title.
What do you get to do if you win nationally?
Well, the really cool thing about pageantry and all pageants is that you get an opportunity to be a spokesperson for the organization. And what they allow you to do is they allow you to use your platform and your title to do something that's dear to your heart. And for me, what I would do with the national title is I would continue to empower, inspire, and uplift the youth, especially those who are underprivileged and underrepresented. As growing up as one myself, I know what the struggle is like.
Yeah, I'm gonna get to that part because you mentioned taking 2 trains just to get to school. So we will talk about it. A little teaser for you guys that are listening or watching this right now, wherever you're getting Valley Insider Podcast at right now. So how do you compete during COVID? Because obviously there's no like runway type of situation. How does it work in COVID competing in a beauty pageant?
Well, our state title, when we were competing for it, it was virtual. And it was a new experience, but we wanted to be safe. And our organizations and our directors, bless their hearts, they didn't want anything bad to happen to their delegates. So they made it virtual. And it was a really fun experience because we only had a week to create basically a virtual pageant. And we had to get out and find photographers, and we had to find a spot. And we had to do our swimsuit, our evening gown, and our opening numbers.
So you guys had to do all the work on your own, basically.
Well, they were there for guidance, which was very beneficial for us when we needed help or we had questions. They were always there, but they felt like it was the best option for us, which it really was. And the best thing about nationals is that it'll be in person, but they're going to take the necessary precautions to make sure that everyone is safe.
Very good. So, Victorville. People have their own impressions on on the high desert, in this case Victorville, because you're from Victorville. What's your favorite thing about Victorville?
Well, I like the peace and quiet. Like, I was in a city for quite some time, and there's a lot of things that goes on in a city, and it's very busy. And a lot of the times I just like being able to withdraw from that, being one with nature, and just being able to go.
We got good sunsets too.
Yes, and I love taking pictures in the sunsets. And if you ever see my evening gown for my state title, it was a sunset dress that I made myself.
That's awesome. Absolutely awesome. Okay, so I want to ask you this because people don't normally do this, and I'm kind of a rebel. I go rogue sometimes with my interviews. Pageantry doesn't get into politics very much, but I think it's important because you're an individual, you're in a leadership role, and because we just can't really get away from politics anymore. I must know, now that we're living in a world of extremely high emotions, as USOA Miss California, what would you say to everyone in the state that you're representing in regards to unity? Because as liberal as we are here in California, there is still a very conservative belief and there are morals and values there. And it's loud enough to where it makes enough noise.
Right.
And the divide is obviously evident here in California as well. We're not any special in regards to the national conversation, right? We have it here too. So when it comes to unity, I mean, it is united, right? United States of America.
Yes.
What would you like to say to everyone in the state that you currently are representing in regards to unity?
I believe that it's good to respect each other, and the thing that I think that we all need to work on is just listening to one another and being able to respect each other's opinions. And by just doing that, we're remaining united. It's okay for someone to have different beliefs and different opinions, and you just have to understand that they grew up in a different type of household than you did, and they have different values and experiences, and it's okay. You just have to be able to understand, respect, trust, and listen.
Very good. I think that's a good answer, right?
Thank you.
I mean, makes sense. Just have an open mind and listen. Learn something new, right?
Every day you should. Yeah.
What was one of your biggest struggles growing up?
For me, growing up was not something that was really difficult, but growing up in a diverse community definitely was like a struggle, I would say. And it was kind of tough because, you have to deal with the name. But the way that I turned it around, I would say, is just, explaining to people what it's like to be different and what it's like to be diverse and how beautiful that is and how, it's not a bad thing. And it was a struggle, but I definitely learned to have to teach others, about being the way that I am and how that makes me me.
That's good. That's really good. You're young. I mean, I am young too, but it's not about me today. So you are young and you're part of, I guess, Gen Z. Is it safe to say you're a Gen Zer?
Yeah.
Okay. That's not a bad thing, right?
It's not. I hope not.
Well, it depends who you're talking to, Yeah. Some people watching or listening to this podcast right now may think, oh no, shame on them, right? No, but seriously, you are a Gen Zer and you happen to be that generation that consumes everything and anything social media, right? I'm sure you have a TikTok, right?
Ooh, actually,
Not yet?
I don't.
Oh man, I have a TikTok.
I know. Well, I'm actually an old soul. Like, I do things like crocheting and knitting.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So
you just got my listeners back. They're like, oh, she crochets. I'm into this.
It's weird because yes, I'm a Gen Z and I was born in today's time, but I'm kind of an old soul. Like, I listen to old school music.
Who's your favorite old school artist?
Hall & Oates.
You like Hall & Oates? Get out of here. Really?
I'm not kidding. I love Hall & Oates.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
So it's interesting to know, but I am up to date with technology. I just choose to rest my soul in the olden times.
To be honest, I think Guns N' Roses is basically as far back as I go.
Oh, really?
But I mean, Hall & Oates, that's taking it back.
I know. I love Hall & Oates. I mean, I like Guns N' Roses too, so.
Right. Okay. See, we got this.
Yeah.
So my question to you is, with your generation and technology, what do you have to say to your generation in regards to to taking it all for granted? You know, like, what are they missing out on? What do you want to tell them?
Well, like I said, there's a lot of things that you can learn from not just looking at your screen, right? And by holding your phone or your computer, whatever access that they have through technology nowadays, you have a lot of resources. And like my dad talks to me, he's like, yeah, I had to go to the library to read and understand. You just have it at your computer. So I think that we should learn about our history more. And I think being allowed to engage with your past gives you more knowledge and how you should take the future on.
You think your generation is lacking that?
I kind of feel like my generation is not really stepping into humanity in terms of knowing what we've been through in the past. And I feel like the art of history is getting lost in translation. So I feel like that's something that we should take our initiatives and study into.
It's safe to say, aside from Victorville, you've lived in other places in Southern California, and you are Southern California,
yes.
right? Yeah. So I have to ask you another political question, because this just came up recently in the news, and talking to people from both sides, I've gotten some interesting feedback. So I'm going to ask you, President Biden is soon going to decide on legislation, possibly, on whether or not we're going to create more renewable energy solutions like wind or solar farms in massive quantities on public land here in Southern California, deserts specifically.
Right.
How do you feel about that type of industry becoming more prominent here in your home state of California? Not just that, like in your backyard, right? Yeah. Solar farms on public land in the deserts. Like, how do you, solar or wind farms, how do you feel about that?
I feel like it's not bad for the economy, and we need jobs, and that's something that he's gonna allow. By allowing us to have an opportunity like this, we'll be able to create more jobs, which will add more better financial stability for not only California but the USA.
Do you feel like solar and wind is a more positive alternative to how we currently consume or create energy?
Well, I'm a computer engineer, and we do a lot of science work, and we do a lot of experimental aspects and data analyzing, and I believe that it will help us. And our environment really needs some sort of savior, and if this is something that will help our society and our future generations be able to be here and live on Earth, I think it's worth a shot.
I love how you grazed over that. Well, I'm a computer engineer. But you are, right? You are in college right now. Tell us a little bit about those career and educational goals that you have.
So I'm finishing up my degree as a computer science and computer engineer, and I am completing my minor in math. And what I want to do with that is I want to potentially have my own cybersecurity firm.
Okay, look at you.
So that's the goal. It's something that I've always been passionate about, and growing up with my dad, I was able to find that safe space to be able to understand that computer engineering is something that I want. Like, I just want to be with computers. I want to work with them. And that's...
Do your parents, do they do anything computery, tech?
My dad's a computer engineer. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He had like a computer business for about 15 years.
Wow.
Yeah, and that's where I learned everything that I know before I went to college.
In this time of uncertainty, taking steps to prepare can help us all find a sense of security. At ServPro, helping our nation's homes, businesses, and shared spaces be cleaner and safer is why we're here in your community, here to help.
Collision Auto Repair Specialist in Hesperia offers free rental and towing. Their excellent service and quality work is always guaranteed. And any military or public service employees can receive up to $500 off their deductibles. Collision Auto Repair Specialist in Hesperia, where we meet by accident. Find us online at carsbodyshop.biz.
When you won Miss California, tell us what that moment felt like. Like, walk us through it. You told us a little bit about it, but I feel like those moments when you win, like when Kelly Clarkson won American Idol, right? Yeah. Like, walk us through that moment, because it's kind of special. It's something super positive. We obviously don't have a lot of positive happening right now in the world, so just kind of walk us through that and what that moment was like for you.
Okay, so I'm gonna have to take you back a little further than
time machine us here,
So it was weird because a lot of things were just falling into place. Like, me making my evening gown, that was something that was just supposed to fully embody my personality. And the way it came to me was just very different. And so that fell into place. And then my interview went very smoothly. I was able to connect with the judges very easily. And then when the crowning moment happened, they were calling like the first runner-up and the second runner-up. And then I was like, oh, wait. Okay, so that means there's only one person left, and it's either I win or I didn't place.
Who was the other competing city that you were?
There was Newport Beach.
Oh, yeah, okay.
And then San Francisco.
Oh, wow.
So
all over.
Yeah, it's all over California. And then when San Francisco got second runner-up, and then Newport Beach got first runner-up, and I'm like, okay, it's either I didn't place or I won. And then something inside me was like, oh, no, you won. And I was like, no way. And then she called my name, and I just, like, jumped up and down. Like, I just lost like every ounce of everything that I was thinking of, and I just blanked out and was just like super happy. And it was like the moment of all your hard work.
Did you cry? Come on, you had to cry, right? That's like the thing to do, right?
I didn't cry because I was so shocked and so overwhelmed with gratitude and joy, and it was just a remarkable moment. And then after everything started settling down, I was like, oh my gosh, like I'm Miss California, USOA, like this is real. So
I'm sure the other girls cried though, right?
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
I'm just kidding.
I'm not sure because it was virtual, so
Okay.
I didn't get to hug them, and because of COVID, so that was one thing, and we all went through this.
So you actually didn't even really meet any of your competitors then physically?
No.
That's crazy.
No, yeah, and that was one thing that we all did. We were sad about because we were really looking forward to meeting each other. We all did that journey together, and they're amazing women. So.
How many different? Because obviously not every city in the state competed, but how many different cities competed against? You competed against?
There was a couple, and we were all spread out through the state of California, so that was pretty nice. I believe it was about 8 girls that were competing in my division.
Oh, wow.
And then there's different divisions. So there's the teen division. I believe there was 5 girls competing in the teen, and there were, I think, 3 girls competing, 2 girls competing in the Ms. and 2 girls competing in the Mrs.
I want to go back to your struggles.
Yeah.
Because one of the things that you had told me, not here on camera, but one of the things you had told me was, and it really popped out at me because it's so unique, and I know everyone finds their path in life differently, but your path involved 2 trains to get to school. I want you to walk me through that struggle because I don't think people realize sometimes the guts and the determination and the focus it takes to create success in one's life. And to me, I'm sorry, 2 trains, that's crazy. So can you walk us through that and tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah, so during the high school time of my life, we lived in Inglewood, California, and I didn't want to go to a school in Inglewood because I knew that it wasn't going to be beneficial for me.
Why do you say that? Is it just the quality of education isn't as good there as it is in other places?
Definitely. It's definitely very different depending on what community you're in. And my older sister, she went to a school called Morningside, and it was awful, and she wasn't able to really pursue her dreams. She wants to be a fashion designer, and so she had to travel to a school called Lawndale just to get the benefits of going to an after-school program at a community college, because the school offered such wonderful opportunities where you can go to a community college and take your fashion designing courses. And she did that like for days and days, and for 2 years straight she did that just to get some experience within her goal. But for me, it was, I wanted to do robotics, and I knew that I wanted to work with computers, and the schools that I was around didn't offer those opportunities. And so I wanted to go to a school that gave me those opportunities. So I did the research, and I found a school that was perfect for me. And it was Hawthorne High School of Manufacturing and Engineering.
Oh, okay.
And that means that I had to travel. Either I'd take 2 trains and a bus, or I'd take 2 buses and a train.
What time would you have to start your days in high school?
So I would wake up like at 3:30, 4 o'clock.
In the morning?
Yes.
Okay.
And not to mention, I also ran cross country. So the nights were late. I would get back home around 10, 11 o'clock. And I would have to go to sleep and then wake up a couple hours later and get back on the train or the bus and get to school.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And you did that for how long?
4 years.
All 4 years.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
I mean, it was crazy sometimes. Like the bus drivers, like they wouldn't allow me to get on the bus because I would forget my bus fare. So I'd have to walk or run to the next bus stop to get to the next bus. And, it was a little adventurous. That's
so insane, though. What you had to do, for your dreams, for your path, for your success. You have to write a book one day, okay?
I will. I plan to.
That has to be a whole chapter.
Yeah.
Because that's so important to see somebody that young take control of their life and their future, right out the gate. I'm going to get up at 3:30, 4 in the morning. I'm going to get on 2 trains and a bus to get to high school, do my cross country, and then come back the same way. Mm-hmm. And then, like shampoo, rinse and repeat, right?
Yeah.
Do it again the next day, 5 days a week.
So the reason why I feel as if I had to go through that is so that I know what it's like, and I will be the person to help others not have to go through those situations. And I knew since I was 10 that I wanted to start an organization for kids that are struggling.
That's right. Yeah, and you mentioned that here. Tell us a little bit about this nonprofit that you've created, because it sounds like an amazing mission that you guys have.
Yes, so United for Youth is a nonprofit, and it's specifically designed to help underprivileged and underrepresented children manifest their dreams into reality. Because technically, when I was in high school, that's what I was doing. I was manifesting my dreams into reality by working so hard just to make sure that I was given the opportunities to pursue my engineering degree. So I want to be able to provide that for children all over the United States of America. And that's one of the reasons why I compete in pageants, is so that I can have a bigger platform to selfishly help others. Like for me, it's selfish that I want to be able to use this opportunity and this platform to change other people's lives. And I feel like it's selfish, but I'm okay with it because I know that I'm making a difference.
It's kind of like putting it out there in the universe, right? Because you keep using the word manifest, right?
Yes.
So it's like you put it out there and it becomes reality. And it really does sound like you've been doing a lot of that. So That's exciting. Oh, let's see. What else? What else can we talk about?
Well, I mean, I'd like to talk about how the community can help, because I feel like that's something that Victorville definitely needs, and it's really rare.
More community involvement?
Yeah, so for me, I'd like to get the community more involved. I'd like to give back to my community in the ways that can help benefit us all together. And everybody is growing from this experience, and it's not just me. I want to be able to give back more.
That's good. Yeah. So this is one of those more lighthearted interviews, as I've said. So I'm going to have to ask you, what are you currently binge watching right now?
Let's see. Actually, since I was crowned, I haven't been watching TV. I'm being really honest. I love The Office.
You like The Office, okay.
And I love Friends. So if it's one show that I was watching before I was really working hard to make sure that my dreams were coming true, it'd have to be The Office or Friends.
Okay. Favorite movie?
The Dream Writers? Freedom Writers.
Oh, Freedom Writers.
Yes.
Oh, with Hilary Swank. Yeah.
It was so good.
It is. It's a very good movie.
And I connected so well to that movie, and it's like sitting there watching their stories. It's like, wow, my stories are kind of like that.
What is your dream car? I know there's so many out there, right?
I love Mini Coopers.
You like the little Mini Coopers?
I love Mini Coopers. My first car was a Mini Cooper, and I grew out of it, but I definitely will get another Mini Cooper. I'm going to wait until the time is right, and then whatever type of model they have then I'll go for that.
There is one more thing that you wanted to talk to us about, and you have something special that's happening, I believe, in March, correct?
Yes, so March 8th, we are having the Women in STEM Symposium. Usually we run it through Cabrillo High School every year, but this year it's going to be virtual. And it's our 7th annual event. So we're going to have Mrs. California 2021 come out. She's Mrs. California USA.
Right, because you were Miss, right? She's Miss Sis.
But she's in a different system.
Different, yeah.
She's in
different circuit, right?
Yes, different. You can call it, different circuit. And she's phenomenal woman. She's Kelly Garcia. She's amazing. She has her own nonprofit that inspires young women as well. So she's going to come out and talk. We also have a Air Force pilot who's also an engineer, coming out and speaking. So it's going to be a magnificent event. There's going to be so many inspirational women coming out to speak to our young girls.
And where do we find that information, readily available online so we can get more details?
Yeah, so there's flyers up. The Cabrillo Engineering website will also have it. I also have it on the United for Youth website. So that's www.unitedforyouth.com.
What's the most exciting thing for you in your life right now?
Being Miss USOA California. I think that's a big deal. Like, being United States of America's Miss California is something that is really exciting. And I'm happy that I was able to accomplish this, but I'm aiming for the top. So I have a long way to go.
Well, I'm going to have to do a follow-up interview with you when we get to that point then,
Yeah.
to see where you're at, what you're doing, talk about the book release.
Yes.
You know?
The book release will definitely come. I'm maybe after my PhD, we'll talk about a book.
That's good.
Yeah. I know my dad's like, you have to write a book about your life. And I'm like, okay, Dad, I'll write one.
See, we are manifesting it
Yes.
by discussing it right now,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
That's what we're doing here. I guess the last thing I'm going to have to ask you is, what's your favorite thing to cook?
I like to make mashed potatoes.
That's it? Just mashed potatoes?
There's so many things. There's so many things that I like to make. Actually, if I'm being honest, I love to cook, and I don't really get enough time to do it as often. But you can ask anybody. They say that my mashed potatoes are the best.
What do you do to them? Like, is there some special ingredient?
I can't tell. My older sister, whenever we have Thanksgiving, she's always like, you have to make the mashed potatoes. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. Mashed potatoes is on your to-do list.
That's your thing. You
Yeah.
have to do the mashed potatoes. All right.
Yeah.
Like the russet, the red potatoes.
Well,
like,
I use the russet potatoes, and I make them
okay.
from scratch. Like, I boil them, and then I smash them, and then I add the good
stuff
the
that you're
good
not going to
stuff.
tell us.
Yeah.
Will it be in the book?
We'll see.
Oh, man. Thank you so much for
Yeah.
being with us today. I really do appreciate your time.
Thank you. This was great.
This was.
Today's show is sponsored by ServPro of Hesperia and Apple Valley, like it never even happened. And by Collision Auto Repair Specialist in Hesperia, where we meet by accident. Valley Insider Podcast is hosted by Andrew Caravella. Directed by Tom Bradshaw. Executive producer Tim Harris. Producer Andrew Caravella. Camera operator Lamont Turner. Creative consultant Stella Montoya. Edited by Fastlane Media. Recorded at KVVB.TV studios in Victorville, California. Make sure to subscribe on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google, or Apple Podcasts. I'm Shane Churchill. We'll see you next time on Valley Insider.
When fire and water threaten your home, hand the cleanup over to the team that stays with you every step of the way in your journey back. ServPro, like it never even happened.
Collision Auto Repair Specialist in Hesperia offers free rental and towing. Their excellent service and quality work is always guaranteed. And any military or public service employees can receive up to $500 off their deductibles. Collision Auto Repair Specialist in Hesperia, where we meet by accident. 760-948-5151. Call today.